Good morning, Year 1. Maths on Monday morning. We're going to start with our usual of doing some mental maths. So hopefully you'll all have your own 100 square. What we're going to start with, as we have done before, is counting in tens. Mine might look backwards to you, so you need to maybe use your own, but have a go if you can. Remember, we have our imaginary number at the top, which is 0. So you ready? Well, start at the top. 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. And back again. 100, 90, 80, 70, 60, 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. And this time what we're going to do is we're going to start at a different number. We're still going to count in tens. We're going to choose any number along the top. So Mrs. Dumont's going to choose number 4, and we're going to count in tens starting from number 4. You ready? You can join in with me. We can do it all together. 4, 14, 24, 34, 44, 54, 64, 74, 84, 94, and backwards. 94, 84, 74, 64, 54, 44, 34, 24, 14, 4. Okay, let's look at one more number together, and then I'm going to ask you some questions. So let's this time start at number 7. Ready? 7, 17, 27, 37, 47, 57, 67, 77, 87, 97, and back. 97, 87, 77, 67, 57, 47, 37, 27, 17, 7. Right, now, thinking about those numbers, what can you tell me about the numbers when we are counting in tens? What happens to the numbers when we're counting in tens? Have a think. See if you can tell, whichever adult is with you. What happens to the ones number when we're counting in tens? What do you notice about it? Have a think. Were you able to tell the adult that's with you what happens to the tens number when we're counting in tens? Have a think. Tell an adult. Were you able to explain to them what happens to the tens number? I hope so, because we've done lots of work on that. Right, so what we're going to do is we're going to look at 2-digit numbers today. We're going to think about what is in a 2-digit number. Why is it called a 2-digit number? Does anybody know why these numbers are called 2-digit numbers? Can you tell your adult that's with you why are they called 2-digit numbers? Well, I'm going to point to a number and I want you to think carefully. What can you tell me about that number? What number have I pointed to? And what can you tell me about it, or what can you tell the adult with you? Okay, what we're going to be looking at is when we have a 2-digit number, like the number we've just been looking at on the board. So there it is, number 56. Okay, there's your 56. Now what you need to do, is what we're going to be thinking about, is looking at this number, tell your adult that's with you which number is the tens number and which number is the ones number. Have a think, explain to them. I'm hoping that all of you told your adult that this number here is the ones number. Do you remember we said the ones number always comes at the end. So this is your ones. Sometimes we put a O above it to show that it's the ones number. Okay, and remember which number always comes next to the ones number. But always comes before it. It's the tens. Okay, so this is your tens and this is your ones. What we're going to think about today is how many tens in a number and how many ones, trying to get to where we can say it without having the T and the O above the numbers. So how many tens does this number have and how many ones? So if I was to write that down, I would say, okay, that it has 5 tens. Turn myself round so I can write. It has 5 tens and 6 ones. Okay, so I have written it has 5 tens and 6 ones. I'm going to point to another number on the 100 square. I want you to see if you can tell your parents or whichever adult is with you, how many tens and how many ones does that number have? So you ready? I'm going to point to this number here. Okay. Have a chat with the adult with you. How many tens, how many ones does that number have? Have a think about it. Write it down if you need to. You've got 100 square there. I made sure you all had one. So on my whiteboard, I'm going to write the same number that I just pointed out. So there it is. What does that number say? 38. Okay, so thinking about that number now, how many tens and how many ones is in that number? Okay, so look carefully. Remember, where does the ones always come? At the end. Where does the tens always come? Just before the ones. It's always the tens and then the ones. Okay, so this one, if I was to write it down, it would have 3 tens and 8 and 8 ones. Okay, so 38 has 3 tens, 3 tens and 8 ones. Okay, let's do one more together and then I will, on the PowerPoint that is with this video, there will be some for you to do in your book, and I want you to set it out in exactly the same way as I have. So you write the 2-digit number and then you say how many tens it's got and how many ones it's got. Okay, so we do one more together. I'm going to point to a number. Are you ready? I'm going to point to this number here. So looking at that number, have a think, tell the adult that's with you how many tens, how many ones. Think carefully about where the ones always come and where the tens always come. So if I had to write that number on my whiteboard, it would be, I'd have the same number. So I've got 41. How many tens? How many ones? So thinking carefully, you would have 4 tens and 1 1. Look here, 4 tens, 1 1. Okay, so now on the PowerPoint there are some 2-digit numbers. Some of you might want to move on from 2-digit numbers and that's absolutely fine. You can move on to 3-digit numbers if you feel you are ready. If you feel you need to keep practicing 2-digit numbers, keep practicing, and you don't necessarily have to just do the numbers that I give you on the PowerPoint. You can use your 100 square. Choose a number, tell me how many tens and how many ones it has got. If you are going to move on to a 3-digit number, so for example, if you had this 3-digit number here, okay, who can tell me what this number says? Tell the adult that you're with, what does the number say? So 136, 3-digit number because it has 3 numbers in it. Okay, so that is why it's called a 3-digit number. If I wanted to say how many of something this number had, I would have to start talking about hundreds as well as tens and ones. Okay, so remember where we always say that the ones number comes. Where does the ones number always come? At the end. Okay, so the ones number is always at the end. And remember then which number always comes before the ones number? It's always the tens. So then I wonder if you could tell the adult that's with you which number comes before the tens number. What's this number here? What is it? Tell the adult with you. I'm hoping you said that it's the hundreds number. So we've got the ones, the tens, and the hundreds. Okay, so if you were to tell me what was within this number, how many hundreds would you tell me that there is? Tell the adult next to you. Fantastic. I'm hoping you say that we had 100. How many tens? 3 tens. And how many ones? 6 ones. Okay, so if you feel ready to move on to 3-digit numbers, that is absolutely fine, and I will, at the end of my PowerPoint, I will make sure I put some 3-digit numbers on there as an extension task. Okay, if you have any issues, please do let me know. I'm hoping that this video will help you. I will send another video tomorrow with the maths that I'm hoping to teach tomorrow. Okay, thank you Year 1. See you soon. Bye.